Our tour got canceled. I was pretty upset. Nothing felt the same. Monkey Bear just didn't feel like the same kind of partner. Trying to wave my wand wasn't as much fun. Honestly, even some of my favorite activities, like putting on lotion in the morning, just didn't feel the same. But everything kind of changed when we decided to launch Camp Congregation. You're about to see. See, when we started brainstorming for this thing, everything that was coming to my head, I just wanted it to be perfect. How could we teach America and heal the world?
The world.
And I wanted the ideas to be perfect. Nothing was perfect, except for the ideas that we settled on, which is what you're about to see. What to wear.
Who to make it with.
Hey! Now that we know who we're doing it with, now that we know what we're gonna wear, we just needed the perfect location. Mom? Mom? Chicken again? Mom, come on. It's not about the food. I've always been a great storyteller. Come on. We're getting close to go time. 5, 4, 3, 2,
1, Carlos!
This is Camp Congregation, featuring your camp counselors, Ben Flock, Corbin Jones, Alfonso Horn, Paul Sam Trombone, Dave Liner, Dr. Molly Miller, and your camp director, Sammy Miller.
Clap at home, clap at home. Don't be a stranger. How about a hand? Corbin Jones on the bass.
Yeah.
It's good to give yourself the illusion that you're not just in your room. Molly Miller on the guitar.
Thank you.
Raise your hand if you've been keeping social distance from people. Yeah? Raise your hand if you've been breaking the rules a little bit. Shame on you. Serious. Shame on you and your family. No, just kidding. I'm kidding. All right, day 2. Got to loosen up. So yesterday we talked about Louis Armstrong. We talked about improvisation. Today we're going to talk about a really important person in this music, in jazz music. This is a man by the name of Duke Ellington. Let me hear you say Duke. Let me hear you say Ellington.
Ellington.
So if Louis Armstrong's like kind of one of the first innovators of the language of how we improvise in jazz, right? How we come up with language that we're going to play on top of songs, we can think of Duke Ellington as kind of the first person to write all these jazz songs. He's the first kind of important jazz composer. Writes over 3,000 songs in his life. Corbin, give me a little under. Yeah. Writes over 3,000 songs in his life. And from Washington, D.C. And the thing that I think is so special about Duke is that of all the musicians out there, and there's a lot of great musicians, there's a lot of great composers too, but he's so uniquely himself. And the fact that he's so much in his own energy and he finds his own voice, it has a serious impact on all those that he comes in touch with. He really found his voice. So we're going to talk about Duke today. And now we're going to go out into the field and we're going to show you a little history. Let's go out to Fonz and Dave. Are you guys there? Let's do a little flashback.
Hey everybody, it's Duke Ellington. I know some of y'all were wondering, how did I become Duke Ellington? Well, let me tell you, it starts with me as a young boy.
Hey Duke, you're living in Washington, D.C. It's just after 1900, and your mom is always like,
Duke, you need to practice your piano.
he's like, no mom. He wants to just go outside. Duke, are you really going to go play baseball again with your friends?
Yo, Duke, come on. It's time to play baseball.
Where you been, man?
Don't you got to practice? No, you're not practicing today?
Yeah, that's
all
what
right,
we
that's
thought.
okay, baby. Here we go. Come on. Oh!
What gives?
Okay, hey, you going to that party tonight, Duke?
Yeah, are you nervous or something? Because Sally
Oh,
Ann's
yeah,
gonna
Sally's
be
gonna be
there. Yeah. Oh man, they got the Eagles to play. Right on. Hey, there's your girl.
Hey, I'm Sally Ann.
Dude, I don't know. She seems like she's really into that guy playing music.
I sure have a crush on the guy playing music.
If you're ever gonna get a chance with her, you gotta learn how to play that thing. Start maybe with your scales. Yeah, man, that's it. And now, try your arpeggios. Woo! I bet you could put all that together to play the most popular music of the time, some ragtime.
Songs. You're gonna rate over 2,000 in your life,
Yeah,
right?
more like 5,000. You know this one? Don't get around much anymore. Yeah. Hey, don't get around much anymore.
What else?
Well, I want you to listen. Hey, God, that's way. Oh, this is for the ladies. You know this one? I said, do you know this one?
I love this one.
Oh, hey, Susie. Where you go?
Will you finish off with one more, Duke? One of your classics?
Sure. All right.
Yes. Mighty educational. Thank you, Duke Ellington, for visiting us on our set. Look at all these friends here. Hi, Charlotte, Chelsea, Randy, Daniel Tate. Hi, Dave, you're tuning in. Nice. Oh, nice. Kay. Oh, hi, guys. A lot of smiles, a lot of claps. Feel free to throw in questions at any point, and we will respond. We'll try to get those and keep y'all engaged. Speaking of engaged, I'm going to go to the most engaging person I know, Mr. Corbin Jones.
I am engaged. I am actually already married. Sorry. We're going to play one more by Duke Ellington, and we're going to start with the bass because that's the only instrument that I have here.
Sammy, we just did a song called Black and Tan Fantasy. So for you active listeners, what you may have noticed is there were two sections of the melody at the top when I came in. One was distorted, fiery, and one was kind of sweet with a sweeter tone and the way I approached it too. So the boys in New York are going to tell you a little bit more about that contrast between hot and cold.
Hey everybody, this is Tall Sam here on the East Coast. You guys are talking about Duke Ellington. One of my favorite things about Duke Ellington is that he always managed to find the perfect voice within his band to play the melodies that he had written. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, when we speak, we all have our own voice, right? My voice is different than Ben's voice.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
And the same is true when we play our instruments. Not only is trombone different from trumpet and different from saxophone, but our voices through our instruments vary from person to person as our individual personalities are reflected through them. To demonstrate this, my friends Ben and Fonz have some of the biggest personalities that I know. Hey guys!
Hey, Tall Sam.
Now, the perfect song for us to see a couple of these voices interact with each other is Duke Ellington's Black and Tan Fantasy, which has two parts to the melody. It has a hot section, and then it has a sweet section. And when Duke's band was playing this song, they were playing for dancers most of the time. So the hot section was for people who were trying to get a little down, and then the sweet section was for people who were trying to dance nice and sweet, you know? Now we're going to have Ben and Fonz demonstrate their different voices and how they can be reflected in the hot and the sweet section. And I want you guys to listen and try to decide who's playing the hot and who's playing the sweet. Comment over here on the right before they're done, and we'll let you know afterwards. Check it out. All right, guys, really awesome. Thank you very much. Very funny, you guys. Very funny. Guys, hey, hold on. Stop. Hold on. Ben, Fonz, what are you doing? Guys, come on! Okay, well, great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ben and Fonz. That was really informative. Back to you guys on the West Coast.
Amazing. I hadn't seen that yet. Is this on? Am I on? Oh, nice. Can you hear me? I had not seen the end of that, guys. That's really funny. Matt Pearson, your son said the first one was hot and the second one was sweet. You got a little genius there. Get that kid in some charter school or some sort of fast-paced education.
In the fall.
In the fall. There's one question here I do want to pull, and that Sarah Washington asked about how do I do that, Corbin, everything you were just doing, which I have no idea how you do that.
How do I do that? Like playing blues or playing like, so I don't know, stuff like that. For me, one, I'm trying to play what singers would play, and then two, I play a lot of bass guitar, so things that are guitaristic or things like that, I'm working consciously on applying them on this instrument. I think a lot of bass players have a lot of great approaches, Corbin specific, so don't tattoo this on your arm. I want to play the electric bass like an electric bass player and the upright bass like an upright bass player. And there's also like a lot of crossover that I want to be able to swing when I play the electric bass and for it to sound okay and not like and then same thing with the upright bass. If we're playing pop tunes, I live in LA, we play a lot of pop tunes. I want it to feel like an electric bass player. So there's a weird thing where sound-wise, I want it to sound acoustic. Feel-wise, all that stuff is basically just your electric bass stuff. I hope that helps.
Yeah. Ethan, we see your question. We're gonna get to that. Or do you want to answer it now, Molly? He just asked about what scales for someone who's just learning jazz guitar. What are like good scales to kind of practice?
It's funny because I think the problem when you just start learning scales is that you'll sound like you're playing scales. So a good thing to do is to like pay attention to the chord tones, and then chord tones being like root, third, fifth, and seventh of each chord, whether it's a major chord, minor, diminished, dominant, and whatnot. But pay attention to the chord tones, and then apply the scales to that too. So just like I think going through your major scale is super important. Dorian, which is the second mode, a lot of minor chords use those scales and sounds, and Mixolydian is really important. I think maybe Mixolydian is a good place to start in applying it to the blues, because that way it's just sort of one scale to hit, and that would be my suggestion. But chord tones, and also more than anything, like melody. Think about melodies, because I think we all get stuck in, I got to play this cool scale, but what's cooler is to like create melodies and have your voice come out.
I also wanted to point out, if you have other questions, you should just hit Molly up, DM or whatever, email us, email the congregation. We are here for you. We'll answer your questions privately. My question for Molly, how do we do this thing that Duke Ellington's doing where you're playing your sound? How do I sound like me? How do I even start there?
Yeah, so for me, I think a lot of the way I got to where I feel like I sound like me is getting over fear, because I think we're so fear-based. We get in our own ways of like, man, I'm like afraid that someone's not going to like the way I sound. I'm afraid I'm going to come here and Sammy and Corbin are going to judge my solo and stuff. Or maybe you guys are judging.
Which they are, and we have in the past. We're all
we all,
terrible,
but like the more I can get outside of that and just accept, like the more I dig into me, the more I like the way I sound, and the more other people like the way I sound. So, there's already a Wes Montgomery and a Jimi Hendrix and a Django. There's already all these people. So don't try to sound like them, but instead try to sound like yourself. And I will say one point too about, because I think that is kind of broad, but the more I check out the people I'm into, they kind of meld together to become my sound. Like I've spent time transcribing Django, Hendrix, and like Wes Montgomery. And so I don't sound just like that one person. I sound like me because all my interests are getting melded together.
Can I give that a try?
Yeah, Corbin Jones, I want to hear you play.
Here's all my interests melded together on a Duke Ellington tune called Sophisticated Lady. If you judge me, keep it to yourself.
We all know what that sound means. It's time for a commercial break.
Hi there. If you're watching this, and you probably enjoy the content we create. And if you enjoy it, you're probably wondering, well, how does it get made? And it's made with the generous support of viewers like yourself. So, if you like what we're doing, go ahead right now and check out what's going on at the bottom of the screen.
check out in the body of this YouTube description and support us. Anything makes a difference. So we hope you enjoy.
Bark, bark. Bark, bark. Bark, bark. Bark, bark. Bark, 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 bark.
Hey guys, it's Corbin's Corner. That's me here in the corner. I have a special guest for our corner today. His name is Frank Saknatra. Frank, give us a little insight on pro tips, anything that you've learned.
Yeah, Corby, baby, I gotcha. When I first started out as a tot, I practiced my scales day and night. And then, when I got on the bandstand, I would totally choke. And now, here I'm saying to you, do your due diligence. Practice your scales, Corby, baby.
Sure, Frank.
But most importantly, we're performing for people. So here's my challenge for you this week. Do a performance for your friend, for your mom and your pop, and don't choke. Whatever happens is going to happen. And that's okay with me, baby.
Frank, thank you for those insightful words.
You got it.
That's Corbin's Corner for today. We're going to hand it to Dave for Dave's musical crush.
Now, I know you've been talking about Duke Ellington, but I'm going to present my case for Count Basie. He'll use the tiniest little arrangement devices that just provide a little bit of lift outside of the improvised, and then right back in. Even when he's playing a piano solo, it's never really a piano solo. He's got all these little tricks up his sleeve. He has a way of playing that one note. A lot of times it'll be up high, but that note's just the right note. And he provides us such a great reminder that music is fun.
Nice. Dave killing us again with the kindness. People always like compare Duke and Count Basie as if they're rivals, and they always used to pin them against each other. But I just find them to be such different stylistic beasts. Like, they're such incredible musicians. And again, going back to this idea of finding your voice, no one can be like Count Basie. No one can be like Duke Ellington. And that's kind of related to one of these. Leo, you asked a question here about transcribing stuff. How do I retain that info, right? That's a great question. I think all of us have done a lot of the transcription. And I would say one of the best things is playing along with records. So rather than just practicing in a book, just for people who aren't musicians, transcription is where you learn something from a record, like someone saying boo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo, and you learn how to do that on your instrument. So the main thing I would say is trying to get into the feeling of that thing. So like practicing along with records, and even on YouTube you can slow stuff down so you can listen at halftime, but playing along with records and trying to get the feeling of it. Because if you're just playing the notes without the tone and without the sound, you're not really capturing what the essence of that person was. and our tones are our most important and distinct thing, right? Molly, play a little bit. Like her tone. There's so many things that go into Molly creating the Molly sound. And same thing goes for Corbin, right? Play a little, Corbin. And he could play a John Clayton thing, he could play a Charles Mingus, he could play, but it's gonna sound like Corbin because the way he touches the instrument. And that's the most beautiful thing about us when we're musicians, right? Are there any other questions here before we hit the road, Jack?
I might just also throw in
yeah.
there. It's like when you recite your favorite movie lines, it's probably because you've heard that movie a lot and you just liked it. And maybe even you snuck it into conversation. Start sneaking it in. Start saying it a lot. Yeah. Try that.
Wow. It's already that time. Wait. Yep. We all know what that song means. It's closing time, folks. You can't stay here. I mean, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Wow, what a good time. We talked about Duke Ellington. We reviewed. We had Corbin's Corner. Remember Dave's musical crush, our guest artist, Frank Sinatra.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see who comes back tomorrow. Thanks to Juan Carlos over here. James, who you can't see, my dear friend from my childhood. Just give a hand. Yeah, oh yeah, Shun, thank you. We're all keeping social distance, but we're making sure that we put on some great content for you every day. Tell somebody about this tomorrow, Friday. We'll be here making new content every day to try to create something special for all those students who have nowhere to learn. So let's teach. Let's do something
Engage
cool.
with us too.
Oh,
Hit
yeah.
us up on the internet. We would love to talk with you and help you out. We all got lots of time right now, and we want to remember there's a community. There's humans outside of our homes.
Ooh, yes. Let's take it home with the song maybe Duke Ellington's most known for that actually he didn't write, but someone who loved him. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, who wrote it?
Billy Strayhorn's a name that we're going to talk about. And the story goes, what? Oh, the guest. Yeah, who's the... Oh, we're going to do that, but yeah, we're going to play a song first. Oh yeah, totally. I'm not going to forget. This is a song Billy Strayhorn wrote. It's called Take the A Train, and it was based on the directions that Duke gave him. Duke said, come over to my house. I live up in Harlem. And he's like, I've never been to New York. How do I get there? And he's like, take the A Train. Molly, Corbin, Sammy, say hi at SM Congregation.
Hey.
At Camp Congregation, we're going to take you out with a video. We talked about the one-note solo yesterday. Check out this one-note solo challenge. Our dear friend from the 100 Tones, The Late Show. Everybody, you know him as John Lampley. Check him out. See y'all next time.
What's up, y'all? One-note challenge. We're going to get down with one note against myself.